Hello, hello, hello. Don't think anybody's here. We're just starting. All right, let's get that share link. I think what I want to work on. I was just noticing that my headphones cancel out surrounding audio best right here. Like right here, I can't hear anything. I'm assuming it means that it's properly sitting around my ears when I lean forward my headphone. I lean my head back. So shifting the weight must be causing it to unseat my ears correctly. Yeah, there we go. Now I can't hear anything. Alright, where were we at? Let's see. Yesterday I was working on getting the Summer of Codes website done. What am I looking? Okay, that's what I'm looking. Issues. That's what I want to do. I want to go to see the issues. Getting the Discord integration is going to be interesting. Because when a new submission is created, it needs to let the moderators know. When a submission is approved, it needs to announce it for publicly so people know to go vote on it. And when a new challenge begins, it needs to be announced on the Discord so people know to go check it out and see what the new challenge is. So I've got to figure out how to do all that. That's going to be fun. I'm probably going to use some event-based system for that. I'm not totally sure yet. I'll figure it out eventually. But it's probably gonna be like an on challenge start kind of thing where you register a callback function. This way, I don't have to put the logic for announcing inside of the logic for creating. I just trigger an event from inside the create function, and that event will propagate out to everything that needs to know that a challenge was just created or just began. So that's what my thinking is there. And the reason why I would do it that way is because I don't want to couple logic that has nothing to do with actually create or an event actually starting. I don't want to couple that logic with the logic of announcing the event or the challenge starting. So that's the thought process behind wanting to use an event-based system rather than just calling a function like announce. And then it also gives the added functionality of in the future, if I ever want to add something that happens when a challenge starts or when a submission is created or a submission is approved, I can just go in and add a new listener for that event. So I don't have to go in and modify the existing code, and I don't have to keep myself aware of where that code is inside of the project. I can just go create a new method that's listening for that event, and I can just tell the app, hey, there's a new method over here that listens to this event, and now the app knows to use that code, and it will automatically do the thing when it needs to. And like part of the reason why that is it's kind of necessary to figure out how to do it in a way that where I don't have to think about where is this code located in the project. If I do, let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta do Python dot count not bevy. We want to do. Yeah, this project is already 2,000 lines of code over 48 Python files. And that's not counting templates that are HTML files. This is just counting Python code inside of this project folder. That's absolutely bonkers. Like you can see it's checking all these different files and everything. I'm trying to see. I don't think. Yeah, like this isn't counting this isn't counting the Python code that Alembic generates. Because Alembic is putting its stuff. Let's see. Alembic is right here. It's inside of migrations. And I just counted the lines and files inside of this folder. So that's not even counting the tests folder. It's like if we were to do count on this directory, it jumps to over 2,600 lines of Python. And like when this script right here is actually ignoring empty lines. Let's see if we can see where it is. File count, line count. Yeah, right here. It's doing filter and it's doing string.strip. So it's stripping out all the white space at the start and end of the line. And then it's filtering on that stripped down string. And so what that does is if the line is just white space, it'll all get stripped out. You'll have an empty line and filter checks to see if it's truthy. Empty string is falsy. So it eliminates that line. So yeah. Probably could actually make that. I bet you I can make this quite a bit faster. I'm trying to think of a good way to test it. Oh, I know how to test it. Let's take this. Let's find some. Let's see if we can make this a little bit faster. Because if I do Python-M, time it, let me grab this and pull it up here. And we're going to time it -C. We're going to paste that in there. We can't run this line because it's doing f.read lines. But what I can do is I can do... What can I do? I can do this right here. We can do... Yeah, we'll do that. So we're making a 1 million character long string list of strings. Right, like that, okay? And then we're going to do len. And just for... Oh, no, that won't even... Next time it's not going to show us any output. And then we can do... Like, I think that list step is important. Yeah, because we've got to iterate through it anyway. We had one person join. I don't know if they're still here, if they jumped off right away, but who knows. Whoop. Why? Doesn't apply to an int. What? I'm now confused. Anybody see my problem? I don't see it. Alright, so let's take this little bit right here. And we're gonna open up a scratch file. PyCharm, where'd it go? We can get PyCharm to behave. No, this was fun. This is a script to just bomb my web server. I don't want to lose that. New scratch file, Python. This should run. It ran. What the heck? Python dash version. Well, I'm confused. What? Any ideas? I would appreciate some ideas. I see the problem. I see the problem. I found the problem. Here's the problem. This is the problem right here. Because my command is using double quotes. So I have to use single quotes inside the command. So that'll now run. So that took 24 milliseconds to finish. It's 10 loops. 10 loops plus the 5, yeah. Yeah, something like that. And then so now, let's rewrite this. We'll do this. We'll write it here. And it's like we can run that, and we get the number. Let's do this. A equals print F A, comma. There, now we can get some commas in there. Make it a little bit easier to see what's going on. And then we're going to do B equals. And then this is going to do sum. And we're going to do 1 for I in times 1,000,000 that's 3 on each side. Right, like that. I want to make them exactly identical. Just in case we save. And then we do I.strip. So if I.strip, because that'll return the stripped string. So it'll check if it's truthy or not. So if it's empty, it won't be truthy. Print F B. There we go. So now we know they both work. You know what? We should probably do it this way. Because that'll make them both equal. Because this one right here, it's creating the generator and then it's got to convert it to a list. I'd have to convert this to a list. I don't need the sum bit. Right? Yeah, I don't have the sum portion here. So I don't want to have the sum portion in this. I just want the part that does the generating of the values. And we time it on that. Oh, that took a little bit longer. So instead of 24, it took 45, which is interesting. Now I'm curious, because if we did this, let's do this. Let's do the sum on the generator. That's still just about as slow. That's interesting. Wow. Why? I'm trying to think why that would be faster or slower. interesting. It's very interesting to me. I don't know why that would end up being slower. Is that one time it just like, did it get lucky? Nope, it didn't get lucky. It ran just in the same time. That's very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. So yeah. Sometimes filter can be faster for whatever crazy reason. Um Out of curiosity, is it the generator? Well, that's even slower. So now that raises a question. Let's see. That raises the question. If we do this, remove this, and then we're going to loop through the filter. Is this going to be faster than using this? You know what it might be? Just a second. We'll see. It is faster. So you know what I think it is? Let's go back up to here. And then we're going to do X on I. Okay? And then we're going to come over here and we're going to do X equals string.strip. And then we're going to... Nope. That wasn't it. Wow. So apparently, filter is faster than using a filter condition. Wow. That's pretty crazy. I don't think there's anybody here to watch me discover this. That's very fun. Wow. Very interesting. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to understand why filter would be faster. Like, I'm having a hard time believing it. So, like, that right there takes 37.8 milliseconds, which isn't even as fast as using filter inside of the list comprehension. How? Just what the heck? Oh, Jess is here. Awesome. I have no idea what is happening here. I don't understand why filter would be faster. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the conventional wisdom is that a list comprehension or a generator expression is going to be faster than filter calling a function. I guess in this case, they're both calling a function. So you lose that difference. Because the list comprehension is calling a function right here, and the filter is doing the same thing right here. I attempted, and I did make it faster by pulling the function out and preloading it into the namespace. But yeah, it's really weird. Really, really weird. Very odd. Like, it must just be some kind of optimization on filter. Very odd. Very, very odd. Weird things you discover when just randomly poking around. Yeah, we got it closer, though, by pulling it out. Because, like, right here, yeah, we're turning it into a list, so it's becoming a list. There seems to be some kind of overhead, I guess. Now, let's get crazy. Can I do it? Will it run? Will it finish? If I do 1 billion? Let's see, we did it. That's 1,000 times higher. 1,000 times 37 milliseconds is what? 38 seconds. Oh my goodness. Is it gonna finish? I mean, yeah, filter's in C. Filter is written in C. But so is the list comprehension and the generator expression. So at the very least, I would expect them to be comparable, not 2x faster. Not so much faster that using the one inside of the other makes the other faster. Like, that's what's mind-boggling. I don't think this is going to finish anytime soon. Because I'm making a list, so it's going to have 1 billion items in it. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! There we go. Oh no. It got lost. Oh, there we go. It gave it back. I'm back. Oh goodness. Alright, poetry shell. Give me my shell back. There we go. So yeah, I don't know. That's really weird. It's really odd. I wonder, I don't know. I'd have to do a lot more to test this further. Yeah. So that's an interesting little find that is going to perplex me. Alright, so what's next? What is next? We were working on something before we got distracted. And quest tracking. Actually, I wanted to see if maybe I could make that. How does middleware work? Because right now, I have rate limiting set up. Where do I have that set up? I have that set up inside of not context, is it? It's right here, I think. I don't know. I don't think it does, because Python doesn't really have threading. Like, even if it was, because of the GIL, each of those threads would have to run individually, because the interpreter would be locked while the thread is running. So only one thread can run at a time. So it's switching between these threads to run each one at a time. And it can't spin up any on a separate process. So you wouldn't actually see an improvement in performance there. Like, threads aren't necessarily going to give you a performance improvement. I don't know. It's really weird. It's just really weird. I don't know. But I know for a fact it's not doing it in parallel. So it's got to be some kind of optimization on the filter function. Or something we're just not seeing. And that's why, like, I tested pulling the function out, because that removes a name lookup. So, like, instead of having to do string dunder get atur strip, it just does X and then runs it. X.dunder call. Whereas before it was if you do string.strip, it's gonna do string.dunder atur strip.dunder call. So if I put it out into X, it just does X.dunder call. We've already done that lookup. And so instead of on every loop it doing which maybe that's what filter is doing. Filter could be just getting the function. Well, it is. We already know that because we're passing it in. So we're doing that lookup, which is why pulling it out made sense. And we did see an improvement in performance there by nearly a third. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not totally sure what it could be, and I don't have time to try and figure out where it's implemented in the code. So, I guess it'll be a mystery for now. Maybe I'll ask on Twitter one of these days. Make a blog post and get the Reddit fiends to leave their fun little comments. Yeah, it's probably just some simple thing, like some simple little optimization where they're not calling some specific thing, or they're preloading a value so that they have it on hand, so they don't have to go out and get it every time. It's probably as simple as that. One thing I was thinking is it might just be because the string is the exact same for all 1 million items in the list. Maybe it's somehow caching that value, and so filters is using a cache on that value, and then the list comprehension and generator expression, they're having to redo the strip every time. So the one way we could test that is to create a giant list of strings that are unique and see if that changes it. But I don't got time to figure that out right. Alright, I want to figure out middleware. User guide. Does he talk about it in the user guide or middleware? And alright. Because here's what I can do. Alright. I'm gonna try this. We're gonna see if it works. It's like what I'm gonna do here is come over here. This is on local. I don't have it running on local. Let's get that set up. This over here. No. So go right there. Now we'll have this just below it. Make that a little bit shorter. No, I don't want to select. I want to make this smaller. There. So now I have my terminal up here, and I can do Python -m. That should make sense. There we go. So now that's running. So we can reload this. And then I can do session token. This is my session token. I can copy that out. And then I have... Oh, there is a way to see the Python bytecode. The problem is, I believe... Let's see. The easiest way to do that is to pull up our Discord, right? And I can come over here to... where the heck is it? Code experiment. And then, so then we take the code, scroll back up and grab that code real quick. Like, the thing is, like, this is what's going to happen. It's going to show us the bytecode for calling the list function, calling the filter function, fetching the strip function, and then building the list of 1 million strings with a 1 in them. So, like, you see here. So it's loading the name list, loading the name filter, loading the name string, loading the attribute strip, loading the constant 1, and then it builds the list. Build list. It's the build list is the thing that happens next. That's this right here. We're building a list with the multiplication. Load constant, which is going to be the size of our list. Binary multiply. Call function. And it's like it's loaded all of this stuff onto the stack. So when it says call function, it's going to take, because right now we have build list, we did a load const, we multiplied. So the multiply is going to take the list that we created and the constant that we created. We're building the list. Is this step right here, right? So everything is getting pushed onto a stack, right? So it's pushed list onto a stack, it's pushed filter on a stack, it's pushed string on a stack, strip on a stack, and then it's pushed this string on the stack. And then it says build list. Build list takes the top thing from the stack, pops it off, right? And puts it into a list, and then pushes that list onto the stack, okay? And then it loads this constant, which now is on the top of the stack. Then it says binary multiply. Multiply takes 2 attributes. It pops the top item and the second item. So it takes the 1 million, and it takes the list, and multiplies them together. And then it pushes that onto the stack. And then it calls a function. And what that's going to do is it's going to pop off the top item. It's going to pop off the next item. I think it keeps popping until it finds a function, which is going to be the strip function here. And like this isn't here anymore, because load_attr is going to pop string, and then it's going to call the getAttr on the top thing on the stack, and it's going to pass it strip, and then it's going to put the return from getAttr onto the stack. So we have list filter strip, and then we have the list that is 1 million long, and that's it, right? I'm trying to think. So we have the list that's 1 million long, and then we have call function. It's telling it to use to pop 2. It's telling it to pop 2, right? Yes, no, maybe. No, it's not telling. I don't know what it's telling it. But yeah, so it's basically going to pop a couple values off, pass them to the function. First function it's going to find is the string.strip function. Then it's going to tell it to. That's not right. It's not going to call string.strip. It's going to call filter, because it's going to pop the list. It's going to pop string.strip. And then it's going to call filter with those 2 values, and then it's going to call it, and then that gets pushed on, because filter is going to return a generator. So that pushes the generator onto the stack now. And then it calls function again, and this time it's calling the list function, which is going to run the generator, and it's going to return the list that's returned by the generator by calling list, right? And that's going to get pushed onto the top. It's going to pop the top. It's going to load the constant none, because why are we loading the constant none? I don't know. Then it's going to return a value. Yeah, so it's just giving us the opcodes to run this line. And then if we let's grab this one right here. Let's grab the list comprehension, which does essentially the same thing. And just UI. Boom. This is a little bit more complicated. So we're loading the constant 0. No? Yes? No. We're loading a constant code object, list comprehension. And then we're loading a constant list comp. We're making a function. We're loading the name filter. Oh, I used filter on this one. Never mind. That's the wrong one. Whoops. Let's grab the right one. Did not mean to use that one. This. Y. Where'd the list comprehension go, huh? There it is. This is the one we wanted. There we go. That's still just as crazy, isn't it? So we make function. I'm not sure why it calls make function. Like, I'm not sure at all. Load const. So it loads that up. It builds a list. So it's just doing the same steps as before. It's building a million item list. So like it builds a list, it fills the list with one item because it pops that from the top. It pushes on the list. It loads a constant 1 million, and then it multiplies them to make the 1 million long list. It pushes that onto the stack. Then it calls get iter. That's the loop. That's what the for loop is doing. It's calling get iter. It's calling a function. I don't know what function it's calling. Then it's popping the top. Load const. None. Return value. I don't know what value it's returning. It must be building this. It must be building a generator. Is what it might be. I think that might be what it's doing here. Is building a generator. This make function and this return value. I think that's returning a generator. But I don't know off the top of my head. Now we're doing build list again, and this is the list comprehension itself. Load fast. I don't know what the load fast is doing. And then we're iterating. Now we're doing the for loop through 222. So like 22 is right here. I don't know. Where's it? 22 down here. So you have the jump. Oh, okay, I see. So the loop goes from here down to 22. Store fast, storing I, load fast, loading I, load method, call method, pop. But like, so this one's actually showing you what the loop is doing. But here you don't see what the loop is doing. Up here you don't see what the loop is doing at all. Up here it's just calling functions. So it's really opaque. You're not actually seeing what's happening. And like down here, you're actually seeing the loop run. It's a little bit unclear what this is to me, but yeah. But yeah, down here you can actually see the loop running. So all of this stuff is happening somewhere with this filter, but it's all happening in C, which might be what the difference is. We're actually using Python to opcodes to do this list, to do the list comprehension, and up here I think it's actually jumping out into C to do the loop, and so the filter for loop is happening in C completely, whereas this loop is actually happening. It's happening in C, but it's using the switch statement. Let me see. I think I remember where it's located now. Python. See Python GitHub. Let's see if we can find it. Eval.c eval h. I think it might be this one. PyCore C eval. No, this isn't it. Yeah, I'm not sure where exactly it's located. There's a file in. We can find it. No, that's not it. Python, maybe it's here. There it is. eval.c. So like right here. Bring this over here. Boom. Where did my file go? Oh, I grabbed out a tab. Whoops, didn't mean to grab a tab. Come over here, GitHub. Then we'll make that look make it easier to see what's going on here. Scroll down. If we keep scrolling, you see that scroll bar is absolutely minuscule. This file is absolutely bonkers huge. It's 8,000 lines long. And if we go back to the top and we do switch, let's find it. Here we go. So here's what's happening. All right. So if we look at well, All right, whatever. So you see right here, we have all of these. These are the opcodes that are happening, right? And this switch statement is located. Where on earth is it located? There's all kinds of stuff happening. It's inside this function, right? Okay, this is inside a function. So this function is getting called from inside of a loop, and it's running this switch statement. Get back down to it. And right here. So here's the switch statement. And it's checking, is it a no-op? Is it a resume? Is it a resume quick? Is it a load closure? Is it a load fast check? Is it a load fast? Like you see in here, like we have a load fast right here. So that's what this switch statement is doing. And so it runs these functions in C. It's like it's pushing, it's dispatching, it's doing all kinds of stuff. Load const, store fast. So you're doing all this stuff. So what's happening is this one right here is just calling functions, and it's just running C code, right? And this is implemented in C, but it's implemented using these opcodes. So each of these opcodes represents one iteration through the loop that is running this switch state. So each one of these opcodes is one iteration through that for loop. I think it's a for loop. It might be a while loop. I don't know. I haven't checked. So it's going through that loop, getting each opcode and doing one thing at a time. And that's why Python is a little bit slower, and a good bit slower, than something like C. Because C, it's just loading commands right onto the CPU. Whereas this, each one of these represents multiple lines of C code. Inside of a giant loop with a giant switch state. And so that's probably why this is slower than the filter. Because you don't have to run this switch state. You can just drop out into the filter function. And I'm not sure where the filter function might be defined inside of this package, inside of Python. Is there a string? I'm just trying to see. Trying to see if I can find where it's defined, but I'm not seeing it. Frozen modules, it's README. I'm just trying to see if I can spot where filter function might be located. I'm looking for filter, not what am I thinking? Just out of curiosity. I feel like this is going to show up in like so many files. Yeah, there's 268 code results. Only 27 pages. Can I... Is there no way to... I'm trying to see, like, is there no way to filter GitHub search file type? Searching code. Alright, so maybe we can do that. We can do filter, language, see. There we go. Now we got 20 code results. This will be a little bit easier to skim through. Built-in module. That seems like it's probably where we want to be. And then we do filter. So we're creating a new filter. Just trying to see if I can understand what it's doing. It's like it's grabbing arg from the keywords. It's getting the iter. It's creating a reference, dialog traverse, PyVisit. And like, this is what's tricky. I think that right there is I'm not sure what that is. That's doing filter next. So it's use, yeah, see, here's the for loop. I believe. Let's see. Iter next. Because like, alright, so here's the thing. This is the for loop right here. So instead of going through that giant switch statement, which is inside of a loop, doing each of those opcodes, it's literally jumping out right here. And this is the filter function right here. This is what the filter is doing. It's all in C code. And so it's probably going to be a lot faster. So it's getting the next item from the iterator. Checking, is it null? Return null. And like, I think that right there is when the iterator reaches the end, it returns null. And then it does check true. PyObject is true. Else, it's like, apparently there's a check true problem. Oh, interesting. Now I'm curious about something else. Scratch. If I do... No. Scratch. Go to Scratch 2, please. Go to Scratch 2. If I do filter... 1, 2, 3... Print... Expects 2 arguments. Never mind. So it doesn't do that. Alright. But yeah, so it's all happening inside of C. So it's checking, is it true? If check true, it's checking if it's true. Call one arg. That's not what I'm going to do. Let's see what I'm going to do. Ooh. So if I pass none, it just returns the values. Interesting. And if I would do, let's put it 0. Cool. So if you do filter none, it'll just do a truthy check, which in the past I would have done bool. So now that raises another question. Let's come back over here. And we're gonna do, Python -m time it. And get rid of all of this junk. Actually, probably should have kept that a little bit, but oh well. Because now I'm curious if I do list filter none, and then I do range 1,000,000. I just want a large range so time it can see any differences. Filter and then list. Time it. So that took 18.9 milliseconds. Now if I use bool, which should, in theory, have the same impact. Is it faster or is it slower? I think it's the same. Let's run that one again. See if we get the same. We get, yeah, that ends up being 18.4. And if I do none, so there's no benefit to passing none. Curious if that got the exact same time twice. That time was a little slower. Got the same exact time 3 times in a row. But yeah, so interesting. You can pass none to get the same effect as passing bool. Interesting. Very interesting. And the reason why I would have thought that might have been faster to pass none is because we're checking, is the function pi none? Oh, never mind, right there. It's checking, is it bool type? Checking if it's bool type. Okay, so it's actually doing the same thing. It's short-circuiting it. Rather than doing this whole great big thing, it's just jumping right into doing the check in C. So there's a little tiny optimization there. So if I were to come over here and I were to rewrite this as a lambda x, and then we return bool x, right? So this should, in theory, be the exact same thing. We're not even going to do bool x. We're just going to do x because we're checking for the truthy value, right? So we're just going to return x. So in theory, that should be just as fast as using bool, because bool is a function call, essentially, and lambda is a function call. So you would think they'd be equal, and this is going to be quite a bit slower. It's about twice as slow. It takes about twice as long to run it. So yeah, you're getting an optimization right out of the gate with that right there. Which of course we weren't doing up above. Or what were we doing? Yeah, we're doing string.strip. So not quite the same. But that is where the slowdown is coming in. On that right there. Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, there's the code. That's why it's faster. It's because it's written in C and it's using C code to run it. And so yeah, looking at dis, we were able to see that because dis was just doing function calls. We didn't see any opcodes for a loop, so we knew it had to be happening. The loop had to be happening in C. And sure enough, here's the loop. It's right there, just looping right through the C code, calling some functions to check if different pi object, using different pi object function calls to run the function, or to run the function to get arguments to check things are true, incrementing and decrementing references. Very interesting, very cool. Yep, fun times. Fun times. Now, back to learning about middleware. Alright, we want to go back here. We need to do Python. Let's do start our server again. I had just grabbed, so we need to pull up Scratch 1. I had just grabbed my authentication token. And we're going to paste in the authentication token. Like that. And now if we run this, not quite yet, there we go. I don't want to run this against the public server. I want to run it against the local dev server. 8,000. And then... Alright. Read error. Too many open files. Oh my goodness. Um, why did that explode? Now, the real question becomes, is that server still running on them? Or did that fully crash it? I can see that it's still running. It's still running. Wow. It recovered well. But yeah, so I accidentally opened too many files. I don't know what file it tried to open. Import module. Trying to see which get async lib. Why is NEIO? That's annoying. Very interesting. Lots of stuff happening here. I'm pretty sure because I know that for a fact this didn't happen when I ran it against the production server. Let's see. We can see. Was this last night? Yeah, this was last night. You can see I ran the unban command 12 times before it stopped me. It doesn't log anything when it stops me, but it didn't crash it. There was no crash output like we see here. This would be the exact same output. And this is the exact same code that I ran. So yeah, interesting. Very interesting. So what do we do next? What do we do next? I don't think we worry about this. I'm a little bit baffled why running locally we got this exception. It might just be because we're using SQLite. Um, Maybe SQLite attempted to create more connections or whatever. It's not that important. If we make this a little less brutal. So that worked. Every single one of them passed. We do 30. All done, 0 passed. Oh, I know why 0 passed. Because we just did 20, and 20 is the cutoff. So the server saw the 21st one come through, and is like, nope, you're done. So yeah, the rate limiting is functioning. and it is blocking requests. Now, I want to try and change that, because currently the rate limiting is happening inside of auth helpers. And if we scroll down here, where is it? Bearer token, validate bearer token. So right here, we're doing tracking add request, session ID, right? I don't want to do it that way. Instead, or wait, should I do it differently? Huh. This returns session data. Like, the tricky part is if I move it out into the middleware, it becomes a little bit harder to work with. You know, this might actually just be fine the way it is. Yeah, I think I'll leave it. I think I'll leave it as it is. This works. It does its thing. Essentially, I have this request tracking, which is global to the whole application in the same process, and which probably is dangerous because it's probably not thread safe. I could add a thread lock, but that might slow things down. So until things break, I'm going to continue doing as I'm doing. But yeah, so for each validate bearer token, so any route that requires a validated bearer token, it adds a request. You know, maybe, actually, this might need to be moved here. Hmm. Trying to think. If we go back over to Chrome, how is the middleware work? How do I write a middleware? Oh wait, it actually might be. No, it's not doing that. I could do it. You know what? We're gonna do it as a middleware. We're gonna do it as a middleware. It's gonna be a little bit trickier than I would like, but it's definitely doable. Let's cut this out. Let's get rid of that. And then we're gonna do quest tracking. We're gonna come in here. Yeah, we should be able to do that. Basic def, rate, limit, middleware, and it takes a request from fast API, import request, and it takes next. So what this is doing is when a request comes in from a web browser, it's going to hit the server, and the server is going to call our app function. So when we define, so if we go over here to site.py, right? Up here we have site, create app. This create app is actually returning a callable. It's returning an object. That object implements a Dunder call. We jump in here, fast API. I don't know if he has the Dunder call here. He does. It's right here. He has this dunder call, right? And so what that is doing is it's then calling everything else. And what I'm doing when I create a middleware is saying, before you call everything else, call my function, and my function will handle calling everything else. So this call next is everything else. That's the app that we created, that site variable. It's going to be, its dunder call is going to be passed into here. And then we can call it if we want to. And so the advantage of moving everything out into a middleware, moving the rate limiting into a middleware, is we reduce the amount of code that gets run on the server if they're getting rate limited. So when we're returning that 429 exception from the, we can do that here and never call the rest of the server. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then I just got to figure out how to send back a response. Okay, yeah, so right there we can send back a response. Alright, cool. Alright, what do we do? To paste this, we're going to paste that. Even better, this is going to be a class. Rate limit middleware. And then we're going to have dunder call, which is going to return awaitable, which has a response. So we're going to import response. And I don't have from typing yet. Typing, import, awaitable. Turn self dot. Actually, we don't even need to do self dot get session ID. Session ID equals. And we do def init self dot tracking equals request tracking. There we go. Then we do self dot tracking dot add. Oh, I see. Self tracking dot add request session ID. If self dot tracking dot should rate limit session ID return self dot do rate limit response, send rate limit response, and otherwise we return self dot how is he doing call next? He's literally calling next. And that's going to return an awaitable. So call next and call that with a request. Now, we could do all kinds of crazy things here. Like, we could modify that request and pass in our own request if we wanted. So you can do all kinds of cool stuff, which I might actually do at some point, make my own custom request object for Bevy. So this way, when each request comes in, Bevy attaches a context to the request and then passes it down. And so now that request will have a context on it, which would be very handy. Async def send rate limit response. response. Don't need either of those. And uh, we need the app on this. Alright, yes, no, maybe. I'm trying to think how this needs to function. Yeah, I think that's the way it needs to function for now. And then send rate limits. The session, we go over to auth helpers, and then we can do get session data, which takes a session info and a database connection. Go back to where we were. From soc.auth helpers import get session data. Session equals get session data. Right, that's that's async. And db equals self.app from soc.context import create context. Equals self.app. Why are you doing this to me? So we have the app, and now we can do dot dependency overrides dot get. So I've got to get the context from the app. Create context. Oh no. So there we go. Now we have the context, and then we can do context.get. Then we have to do another import from soc.database, import database, yes. .get database. And then we can do, this gets session info. So actually, send rate limit response. All right, yes, there. Get session info from request. So we have to get that from the request, and then we have to give this the session info. So there we go. Now we have the session info. We pass this the session info. And then this needs the DB. There we go. So that'll give us back the session object. Then we can do session revoked, and then we can sync that, and that'll send it up to the database. And then we have to return response. I think we can return them. I think that works with response. I just need to figure out how to set the status code. Status code is 429. Cool. So that, in theory, should do everything I need it to. You know, I don't want to do this all the time, so we're going to do this. Self.context. Self.context. There we go. Now we have the context. And then we can do something even crazier. We can do from Bevy import dot providers dot function providers import Bevy method. And then I can do at Bevy method. And then, and like this Bevy method, what does it do? It looks for, what does it look for? Find function. Trying to see how I did this. Find to context. Oh, okay, I see. So this replaces the method with a custom method. And so this is self right here. And it does self.bevy. So if we do this, if we come up here and we rename this from context to Bevy, right like that. And then we can do Bevy. Or we don't even need to do that. Because now we can do db database equals inject. Right like that. We gotta import that from Bevy. From Bevy, import inject. Right like that. So now we have the database. Pretty simple. That should, in theory, work. So what do we gotta do next? Gotta implement get session info. Get session info. And it returns a dict of string and if not, hey, have a great night, Jessa. It's been awesome having you. Thanks for hanging out. Quest.headers. Return that. Or bearer not in. Wow, almost wrote some bad Python code. Request dot headers authorization dot caseful. So if bearer is not in the header, so if it's not a bearer token, return. Next up, we have session token and equals request.headers author. There's a better way to do this. I figured out a better way. Get. Well. And then we do auth header. I can't spell. Auth header. that. Then we have auth header dot split on space max split 1. Very cool. There we go. So now we've got the session token, and then if we come back over here to auth helpers, what do we have? We have a way to get the session token, parse token, right? And we got to pass that in the authentication setting. So yay! So then we come up here, parse token, and then I got to do from soc.config.models.authentication, import authentication settings. And then we'll do the same here. This is going to become a bevy method. And then we do auth settings, authentication settings equals inject. And then turn parse token auth settings. Oop, not token. It's session token. Right, like that. That should work. Session info. Need to rename this to session info. Session ID equals session info dot get how did this change? How does session this? So we need to move this up to here. Like that. If session ID. So that's going to cause, if there's no session ID, it's going to drop into the rest of the code. Not ideal. We'll probably put another authentication middleware in here at some point. That'll just wipe that out. So if there's no session ID, it just drops it altogether. We'll see. All right. Oh, I see. Session ID and session ID. There we go. If session ID, boom, boom, boom. All right, looks good. I think the middleware is ready. And then the way this works is we come over here to admin API. And then we do from soc.request tracking import rate limit middleware. And then we do admin app.middleware HTTP. And then we have to call that. Is there a smarter way to do this? No, wait, hold on. So that's what we can do. Yeah, there is an easier way. We can just do add middleware. Right, like that. And then we can do rate limit middleware. And then we do admin API. What are you complaining about? I think it wants me to do this. Huh, I'm a little bit confused how that works. Um, oh, I see. So how does this function? That doesn't work the way I wanted it to. Oh well. I can definitely make it work that way. It's just not as easy as I would like. Um, it's easier to just do this for now. Rate limit middleware. Boom. There we go. That works pretty much just as well. And let's see if it works. I will need to come back over because when you hit the rate limit, it logs you out. So, like if I reload this page, it says I can't be reached. What? What? Ah! Request tracking line 10. So instead of, we're just going to import auth helpers as auth helpers. And then there should be some errors in my code. Auth helpers. And then auth helpers. And now she should run. Wrong thing. Ugh. Line 12 is now blowing up. Import as context. And then we have boom, now it worked. And let's see here. Come over here. Yeah, session revoked. So we have to log back in. Log in. Authorize. What? What are you talking about? Log out. Log in. Authorize. How did I break something else? I bet you if I remove the rate limit, I don't know why. Guess we'll find out in a second. Log out. I don't know why it thinks I'm logged in because I'm not a valid user. Authorize. Excuse me? Now I'm just confused. I'm looking at my code here, trying to see what I'm missing. I'm missing something, aren't I? Where is the no client? This no client secret set. No client secret set. I feel like this bug is related to something else. This is the production code. Nope, that one worked. So it seems like I broke something. Is oh, I know why. There's nothing wrong with the code. There's nothing wrong with the code. I accidentally closed my session And my client secret was stored in a environment variable. That way, things were safe. So, I need to re-add that very carefully off script. Alright, and Control C. And now if we come back over here, and we go localhost 8000, log out, log in, authorize, boom, it worked. And so now for the real truth moment, we test the rate limiting. Do we think it's gonna work? We had an explosion, an internal server error. Fine. I think I know what I did wrong. Call it. We have to get the context. And boom. That should fix the problem. Run that again. We got some 500 errors, so we need to figure that out. But you see the session got revoked. It looks like the 500 errors are probably something else. We can bring this back over here so we can see what's going on. So dict object has no attribute in code. So that's how we're starting the response. Right down here. So we need to do from fast API.responses, import JSON response. Now, let's see if that works. Success! There we go. So now we have some session revoked ones. Those happened after the... how many succeeded? 0 passed. Why would 0 pass? Oh, you know what? It's going to give the too many requests. If we go back over to that Scratch file. Scratch 1. Let's do this. We're going to have... And then we'll have failed. Which isn't necessarily all that failed. If resp.status code equals 429 failed dot append I resp or failed dot append I. Alright, cool. And then we're gonna do elif is not equal to 200, else. All right. And we're gonna do equals to 200. I don't like mixing and matching. I'm using a Mac. I do not have Notepad. I have similar stuff, but I wouldn't use that. I'm using PyCharm right now. Yeah. By the way, nice to have you. I don't know. Are you from the Discord server or not? Or did you just find me elsewhere? And this is an elif. Alright, now if we run this, we have to print out that information if we want to see it. Where am I doing print? Alright, all done. Whoops. The len failed. Don't know why I put two L's there. Now if we run it, we can see 10 failed, 0 passed, and we did 30. So we know we got... So if we run that again, so that means we got 20 that were session revoked. And we got another 20 that were session revoked. Interesting. So yeah, that's doing that. Now, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Let's restart this. Ten failed, 0 passed. Why is nothing passing? Oh, because session got revoked. I'm brain not working right now. So then if I reload this, we haven't used that session token. So we can print out that session token. We can copy that session token. Boom. And then we can paste that right here. Boom. And now if we run it, because like right now, this is logged in. I can go home, I can go to the admin, I can go around there, right? Now if I run this again, it's going to give me 10 failed, 0 passed. Why is it giving 0 passed? Session revoked. What does the terminal look like? 403 forbidden. Why forbidden? And session revoked. Why would that be forbidden? I'm very confused. I'm not sure why that was forbidden. Because that should have been an admin token. Because let's log in. Let's authorize. And then I can go to the admin. And we're calling the unban mode. And I can do ban. I can do unban. And it works from here, right? So then if I grab my session token, because that other one got revoked. Why did 0 pass? Nothing is getting status code. I'm so confused why that's forbidden. what is wrong with this code right here that is okay with this code? I'm not sure what's broken here. Interesting. Session token. Let's update the session token. Let's do them all concurrently. Interesting. And that'll mean this is logged out. So let's try logging that back in again. Authorize. And then session token. And then I'm going to go to the admin. I'm going to use up some of my requests. Interesting. And if I got rid of this line, we're going to have to log back in again. Authorize. Very interesting. Then if I do session token, not a single one passed. Very interesting. We got a bunch of 403 forbiddens. It pretty much shut it down right away. I'm wondering. I don't know what's going on. I really don't. Interesting. Whatever. So basically, if this thing requests too fast, this just automatically shuts it down. So I'm wondering if it's just if Unicorn is shutting it down, being like, hey, too many requests, stop it. But like, what doesn't make sense is that it is hitting me. It's hitting my code and giving me the 429. It's odd. Very, very odd. But it seems to be working. So like when I do this, -1. So if we wait for the last task. We can just do away with this, like this. That. And this should, in theory, log in. Let's get a new token. Authorize. Right, like that. Then so there, 20 passed, 10 failed, and the limit is 20 inside of a 10-second period. So the rate limiting is now functioning using the middleware, which is all I really cared about. And it's successfully revoking the token. Cool. All right, so we've rewritten that as a middleware. Refactor, rename, rate limiting. So there we go. And now rate limits correctly according to the session ID. So if once you've got a token, that token is limited in what it can do. And you have to create a new token if you want to do more than that again. Right. Let's go ahead and commit that. Oh, good lord. What the heck is happening? Come back. Oh, there, we got a normal window. Add rate limiting middleware. Oh, I know. Wait. I need to go into... We need to remove something. Because this is using quest tracking. We don't need that anymore. And... nothing should be broken. Authorize. Go to the admin, we can ban, we can unban, we can remove mod, we can make mod. Alright, cool. So now everything's working once again. And then if we run this, too many requests, 403 forbidden, and this should be logged out. It's not. Oh, that's right, because that token is... I forgot to grab the new token. Whatever, doesn't really matter. But you get 20 of the forbiddens, and then you get 10 of the 429s. And the reason that is because the middleware doesn't care if the session is still valid. If it's been revoked, it doesn't care. It just counts it regardless. So for the first 20, it allows it through, and then for the following 10, it says, hey, you sent too many requests, and it's just 429s. It doesn't care if your request is a valid request or not. So I removed that. Everything is still functioning, so now we can commit that. Use rate limiting middleware. Now that's just on the admin. And that's part of the reason why I want to rework this. Because now I can come over here to the API. And we can add that middleware to the API from SOC dot rate limiting. We can do API app dot middleware HTTP, and then we do rate limiting middleware API app. There we go. And this has I'm trying to see. Okay, yeah, there we can hit challenges. So then if I come over here, let's go back to the Scratch file. Let's change this to v1/challenges. Right? And then challenges is a get request. We need to get. Hit the wrong thing, didn't I? Get. And we do v1 challenges. And then, am I still logged in over here? Yes, I am. Session token. And there we go. Why are you not behaving? Oh, that URL is not correct. And there should be no payload on that. And we set the token. There we go. $30 passed. Why? Why is it not doing the thing I wanted? Was it too slow? Last 10 seconds. Just out of curiosity, let's make it 20 seconds. Oh, you know why? We never restarted the server. So if we restart the server, which now has rate limiting enabled, we're up to 17, 18. There we go. Too many requests. So right up here, we scroll up, we see 19, got a response. 20 is done. 20 got too many requests. So once you hit 20 inside of 10 seconds, it 429s you. And it logs you out. Hey, Arian, how's it going? All right, there we go. Got that working. Looking good. Now we can commit that. We can go back to the tower. Here we go. Add rate limiting to the app API. So now we have it not just on the admin API. I'm working. Yeah, that's what I was working on. I've got it all working now. I had it working last night, and I just switched it from being like a function call when I validated the token to now it's a middleware that checks the token if it exists, and if it exists, it adds it into the rate limiting. There we go. And so that is now pushing live. And let's see, we have issues. I marked that as done because I already had it done last night. You said you were gonna try and work on the challenge page. Trying to see what I've got here. This one right here is tied to... Got to create this Discord integration. I'm not sure how to do that yet. And we got to figure out the leaderboard is going to be a little bit of an effort, but we should be able to get pretty close. Get a lot done. Oh, this is the step. This one is tied into this. So these two right here are the same issue. This is waiting on this issue to be closed. And that's just styling the issues. Styling the submissions on the homepage. Yeah, if you can get that done, that would be great. You're gonna probably end up having to do 37 too, right? Because the challenges page is the page you go to. Currently, we don't even link to that on the homepage, do we? So like we need to add a link here that says past challenges. Or I can add that real quick. Header. Challenges. All challenges. And then if I reload this, all challenges, because we got to get this page formatted. And then this page will list out all of the challenges, and then you'll be able to click on each one to see like all the submissions and to see what you're working on with issue 45. Actually, I can throw that page together real quick, probably. Let's see. Challenges.html. Percent for challenge in challenges. And for section ID equals challenge dash, and then we do challenge.id, and then we do H group, we'll do an H group, and then we'll do H3, and then we do challenge.title, right? Let's bring this over here, because then I can see what we've got. We've got the incorrect information. Oh no. We need to come back over to site.py, and we need to do challenges, and await challenge.toDict for challenge in what properties does that take? Expand submissions? No, we don't need to do that. Because we're not going to show any of the submissions on this page. Now we should have more information. There we go. Oh, I gotta restart the server, don't I? Alright. Reload. There we go. There we go. And then we can do... Actually, how are we doing that on the index page? This is gonna be like this. That returns a dict, and then we want to do a dict ourselves. Do that. That. Make that the same. Get both lines. Formatted start. That should give me the formatted start and formatted end, which we can then do in here, H4, challenge dot formatted start until challenge dot formatted and I have to restart the server again because I changed something backend mode. And then we can do the challenge dot description. And then what do we do? This needs to be a link. A href equals challenges challenge dot ID. Did we create the route for that? We haven't created a route for that. Have you created a route for that, Arian? For each challenge? Alright, I think I pretty much got that done. I haven't. I just checked. We've got the index, we've got the challenges list page, we've got the challenges create submission page, then we have logout. So I haven't created a page for the challenges list. That's what the idea was to do. But we haven't actually created it. I haven't even created a template for it. All right. I mean, I would have to see your code to do that. Do you have it on like a GitHub gist or anything like that? We can take a look. Are you on the Discord server? You could share it there in a help channel. I'm sure a lot of people would be willing to help out. But yeah, if you've got it in like a gist or something, we can look at it on stream real quick. What are we doing? We're attempting to remove that. Remove this. There's going to reload this. There we go. All right, there we go. Now we've got the challenges all on one page. I don't know if I have a good way to stream a call right now. I've not tried that before, so I'm not sure how well that would go. And all right, so let me get this committed so you can work with this Arian. And sure, sounds great, Arian. Thank you. Header challenges. There we go. And we come over here. Add challenges list page to header. Nicely format the challenge list. That out. Actions. All right. There we go. Get some lights on. All right. Any luck getting that into a shareable form, Shane? If not, because I'm about to end the stream. Getting close to the end. If you've got that somewhere, you can. If you can send the link right here, like if you have it in like a GitHub gist, you've got a video of the code. Is it something that you can share a link to? Like ideally, you would just share the code on like a GitHub gist. Like you go to gist.github.com and you can create a gist right there and paste your code in there and then share that link with people and they can look at your code to see how it looks. All right, awesome. I'll hang out while you get that figured out. All right, deploying to Gates. Stop live. Challenges. Beautiful. Probably need that away to delete challenge. Oh dear. Do I have anything in the model for that? Alrighty, let's see what we got. Let's see. Did it let you send the link? I don't see a link, no. Here, I can show you what I see. Like, I don't see a link at all. No link showed up. Do you have Discord? You could share it on the Discord server. I can definitely see it there. You can create a help channel if you go to the How to Get Help channel. It'll explain how to do that. Or you could just drop it real quick into like the coding chat. Let's see, where did I hide my Discord? It's like we've got coding chat right here. And then if you jump over to... Where the heck is it? I never use my own help system, so... How to get help, like it explains how to do it. You just have to come over to one of these get help channels, select the language, select the category if you have one, and then claim your channel. There we go, I see the link now. Oh, let's bring that to the center. So is it giving you any kind of error messages? Let's see, we're coming in right here. Display menu, read movies. So I'm guessing it's giving you the could not find the file and then exiting the program. Okay, so yeah, it couldn't find the file. So the way this is working is what command are you using to run it? Are you using something like Python? I'm trying to see if it has the file name. Movie.py, are you doing something like that to run it? Okay, so you're running it from PyCharm. So I'm assuming you're just like right-clicking the file and clicking run. Because like I can show you in my PyCharm. If I right-click a file, I can click run users, and it'll show me, like right here, it'll show me what it's doing. It's using this exe, or this executable, and then this is the file that it's running, right? The working directory is going to be the same directory as the file itself. And I would be careful when you're running stuff in PyCharm. Keep in mind that the run button, like I have it hidden, but like the little run button at the top is going to run the last file that you ran, not the file you're looking at. So if you have multiple files that do similar things, but have a slightly different tweaked code, like you have multiple versions of the same file, you need to have the CSV file in the same directory as the Python file. Because PyCharm is going to run it in the same working directory. If I right-click this, more run debug, modify run configuration. I can show you. Like, right here, it's telling it the script path, the environment, and then here's the working directory. And that's going to be the folder that the file is in. You can change that working directory to be anywhere, and then it'll look there for any files. But by default, the working directory is the directory that the file is in. And honestly, I wouldn't change this. If you want to change where you're running it from, like I really wouldn't want to change this, because then you might get confused later on about why something in the same folder isn't being pulled in. It's better if you can find a way to find the file where it's located. It's like, where is the file located if it's not in the same folder as your Python file? Awesome. Cool. But yeah, I wouldn't modify that working directory. I would try to find a way to locate the file relative to the directory that the file, your Python file, is in. There's a few ways you can do that. Like one that a lot of people aren't aware of is you can do something like this. Let's go to the Scratch 2. There's a variable, dunder file, right? In every single Python file. And then we do 2. And that literally gives you the path of the Python file that's currently running. So you can do something like importing pathlib. Pathlib, and then we can do pathlib.path. And then we can do .parent. And now we run that, and we see we got the folder that the Python file is in. And you can then do the slash, and then I could do, I don't know what other files are in here. Well, we should have scratch1.py. And now, like, we see it lists that one in there. And then I could do .read text. Boom, and there we go. We just read the text of the Python file in the same folder. We could move it to a different folder or anything like that. So that's one way that you could control more consistently where you're going with looking for a file. Yeah, I'm glad I could help. Yeah, it can be stressful in the beginning. Like, sometimes things happen and it's not really clear what's happening or why it's happening. And definitely working with files can be one of those. But yeah, any file, you've either got to know exactly where the path is to that file, or it's got to be in the same folder as your code. Really, it's not even necessarily the same folder as your code, because if like you're in terminal and you do something like Python Python SOC slash, and then I've got like config, and then I've got let's say we're going to base model. Like if I were to do that, I wouldn't look in the same folder as base model.py. It's going to look in the same folder as Python, which is the summer of code folder. So even though I'm running a file 2 folders deep, it's still looking in this folder, which can be a little bit confusing at first. But it's wherever you're running from. That's going to be your working directory, and that's where it's going to look. So yeah, glad I could help you. All right, if there's no more questions, I think I'm going to call it a night. We're at 2.5. This is the longest Wednesday night stream we've had in ever. So I think I'm going to call it a night. I got to get ready for work tomorrow. I got some cooking to do. I've had some fun. We got some stuff coded up. We did some interesting stuff. We helped some people. And yeah, I'm here just about every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I try to be here every Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're usually live for 2 to 3 hours, somewhere right around there. It can be a little longer, a little shorter, depends. If you are watching this video or this stream and you're not a part of the Discord server, be sure to join. We have a lot of fun over there. It's not the busiest Discord server, but we get along. We have a lot of fun. We learn a lot of stuff. We experiment with things together. We build things together. And if you've got any questions regarding help questions or anything like that, it's a great place to ask your questions. Yeah. So I hope you all have a great day and a great night and a great week. I will see you most likely this coming Sunday. If you have anything you would like to ask me, ask in the comments below. You can ask on the Discord. You can ask on my Twitter. They're all linked in all of my social media. It's linked in the description below. Yeah. If you have any ideas for videos, reach out to me on Discord, Twitter, the comments below. Definitely. The comments below. If you have any ideas for video ideas, blog post ideas, something like me to see me do on stream, let me know in the comments below. All right? Y'all have a great